back in December, we had a couple of great announcements. The first was 120 million active users. That's a really strong number. And if you remember back in May, we announced 70 million active users for the Chrome platform. Now they're at 120 million. The platform's just exploding. And one of the reasons why this is going to keep growing is this little bad boy here, which I'm sorry I couldn't present off of, but this is the CR48 netbook. This is the first netbook with Chrome OS running on it. I'm happy to go over this and show anybody who wants to come and see this later, but it's a great piece of hardware, and it's interesting because it's a beta program. It's the first time I ever heard of beta hardware. We do beta software all the time, so it is the OS and the platform for living on the cloud. It is all about Chrome. You start it up, it's all Chrome all the time. And what's really interesting here is something we noticed user expectations shifting. You know, when a new platform comes online, they're not saying, oh, does it have Wi-Fi, does it have a keyboard, and that sort of thing. They're saying, where are the apps? Right? This is an important question here for any new platform, and the answer that we have is the Chrome Web Store. So I'll demo a little bit about the Chrome Web Store today. We'll look at what's in there, what makes a great app, and how to purchase apps. So it's all set up here. So we're going to do this live. Okay, cool. So actually, I think it's okay. Great. So the Chrome Web Store is our consumer marketplace for web apps. So what's a web app? It's a very verb-oriented, action-oriented web application. We think of these as very distinct from sites. Websites are typically sitemaps, a lot of content. Usually what you're doing there is you're browsing or you're reading or you're looking for something you found via search. But there's a lot of great content on the internet or the web itself, which is very action-oriented. I want to accomplish a task, I want to get in and get out. And that's quite hard to find these days. For instance, if you're looking for a chess game, right? If you're going to search for a chess game, you're going to find a lot of great documents about that particular chess match or chess strategies. But it's very hard to find an actual chess game that works in your browser, can stand alone. I just want to play. I want to play with friends, play against a computer. And even if you do find it, it's hard to do ratings. It's hard to install it. It's hard to know if it's any good. It's hard to know if it's even compatible with your system. And so the Chrome Web Store solves these problems of distribution and, of course, monetization, which is very important for developers as well. The Chrome Web Store grew out of the extensions gallery, and now everything extension themes and web apps are now all rolling up into the Chrome Web Store. So I wanted to show you a little bit about how to go ahead and get an app here. One of my favorite apps is what I think is the best example of how a web app is different than a site. You're probably familiar with a website called WikiHow. It's a great user contributed how-to guides in a wiki style. They put together what I think is a really great web app, very distinct from their website. As you see, we're browsing around, searching. We can see screenshots here. Oh yeah, that's right. There's a rating system, other apps in the category, but we're going to go ahead and one-click install this app here. Okay. Cool. Thanks for being logged in.
Don't worry about it.
Is it logged in for you?
I am logged in.
Okay.
Looks like I'm logged in. But
okay,
not
so we're in incognito mode, so I don't think it actually installs in incognito mode. You mind if I install this?
Go for it.
All right, cool. That's actually one of the cool things about web apps, because when you install it, what you're really doing for most hosted web apps is you're just integrating a slight little bit of metadata into your browser. So the surface area, the risk factor, in other words, is very, 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 it's extremely thin. It's basically what we get with the web already, with its great sandboxing and protected areas in Chrome and normal modern browsers. It's going to be extremely safe for me to go ahead and do this. So.
By the way, this is the Romance guy's computer, and they're just kind of permanently in incognito mode, just for safe product.
Yeah, actually. So. There we go. Okay, I'm no longer in it. Okay, very good. Okay. Search for it. Run through it again. Okay, great. The first time you install an app, a new section on the new tab page, which is now your launcher. This is your home screen in a browser, the new tab page. You'll see the app launcher icon appear now, and you'll also see the promo image, which is the Chrome Web Store launcher itself. And Chrome 9 will have this default start for every user of Chrome 9. And so, again, the distribution story here for web apps is going to get really, really strong with every user of Chrome now one click away from the actual web store. So we will launch this app. Notice how it runs in its own tab, very familiar. But what I like about this app is that it is not, doesn't have the normal layout of a website. everything is very full screen. This actually works offline. They use a lot of advanced HTML5 features like the local storage. I think they're using also Web SQL database, the application cache, all these great technologies. So it feels much more like an app, something that you have physically versus a site which you might visit all the time. We're going to go ahead and go in. Again, very full screen, very graphical. You might want to learn how to do CPR here. So they took a lot of the great content and put it together in a package here for survival. And so they've themed their content. Again, it's not the website, which is everything to all people. This is very targeted, a very useful functionality, and very optimized for getting at this content. And that's what I really like about it. And so, again, very dynamic, using a lot of HTML5. So I do now want to show you purchasing, which, do you have a checkout account?
No.
Okay.
Google kicked me off of Google Checkout.
Oh, well, there you go. Sorry about that. But I'll show you a little bit about what that means here. So the other big story, certainly distribution is really important to us. We talked about how 120 million active users, integrated right into Chrome. But monetization is important. So on the web, there's a lot of interesting monetization strategies out there already, and a lot of people are doing this successfully. But there are some missing pieces there that we think we can help bring. For instance, one-time payments. It's very hard to just purchase a web app and just have access to that web app right now. The Chrome Web Store integrates Google Checkout for one-time payments and monthly, yearly subscriptions. What's also neat about it as well is that you can bring your own third-party payment system to the party as well. So the Chrome Web Store is a very open place to get your web app out and into the hands of a lot of different people. Also, there is no upfront review process too. Again, because the web is open, we're not here to look at every single app. We know that open platforms win in the end, and so anyone can contribute web apps. So I just want to show you a little bit about what the flow here. Here's an example of what I really like as well. We've integrated free trials. So one of the challenges with other app stores is that there's usually two apps, right? A light and the paid. And converting a user from the light to the paid can be cumbersome. And Chrome Web Store solves this problem with free trials. So you can go ahead and download and install the actual app via the free trial button, basically bypassing the paywall. And then after you've kind of run out through X number of games or X number of levels, you can then go back in the web store, pay for that app. You don't have to reinstall anything. It's the same app, and just the app manages the business logic behind that. So,
Wrap it up.
okay, so yeah, that's good. So we looked at 120 million active users, Chrome OS netbooks. Those need apps. Chrome Web Store is where you find all your apps. It works on every Chrome browser, desktop, laptops, netbooks, and I'll take questions. So thanks.
Chrome apps and internet apps, what's the relationship?
So I think, I'm not sure what an internet app is, but
Internet, Google TV.
What's the relationship between Google TV and Chrome Web Store?
Apps. If I run an app, if I make an app for Chrome platform,
Yes.
can I run it or can I modify it to run on Google?
So so the question is, can I take my same Chrome Web Store app and run it on Google TV? Google TV has Chrome browser built in, and it has an Android SDK built in. So if you're building a web app, it's very easy because it's Chrome in both places. The Chrome Web Store is not installed as a first-class citizen in Google TV yet, but because Chrome Web Store apps are just web apps, it will work in Chrome on Google TV.
So it's not yet.
Well, again, because it's just a web app runs in Chrome, it'll run in both. But the web store itself as an integrated first-class component, it's not quite there in Google TV yet.
If I write an app, on whose server will this app run?
Okay, good question. So if I write an app, whose server does this app run? So in Chrome Web Store, there's two kinds of apps. There's packaged apps, which are self-encapsulated, completely contained applications that are physically downloaded onto the client computer. In this world, there is no server. This is very close to the traditional software install model. This is built off of the extensions framework that we've had running for a few years, and so the alternative is a hosted web app, and that runs on whatever server you want it to run on, and that's very close, if not identical, to what we're all doing today. All the way back.
Please correct me where I'm wrong. I just read on MIT Technology Review that Chrome would log everything you do on your machine. So if you are, say, using Chrome OS and using some applications such as Facebook or Twitter, what kind of logging would you do, and would it be all available or get transmitted back to the cloud?
Privacy is extremely, extremely important to Google. So I can't comment on that article, but I can definitely tell you that it's very important to us that we have the trust of our users and we do the right thing. But I don't want to comment on an article I haven't read. So.
If I have an Android phone, but I downloaded a Chrome app, can I use that app on my Android phone?
So good question. If I have an Android phone, can I download a Chrome app and use it on that? So the concept of downloading is a little fuzzy here. I might have used it a couple times, and it definitely applies to the packaged app model that is like closer to extensions. But most of what we've seen so far are hosted web apps, and those just run in the browser off of a web server. And so you can access that from any Chrome browser, and a lot of people are building just HTML5 apps in general. And so if the app was written with just HTML5 technologies compatible with the Android browser, which is WebKit based, then it will run, but it's the same caveats than any other web app off the shelf in a sense would it run in Android.
Okay, one last question.
So I have a question. So I can see how it's like what benefits for Google and for developers. So for developers, like another distribution channel.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering what's good it brings for the user. For example, if I'm a user, I like my favorite search engine. For example, Google.com. I want Google.com for like a one-stop shop, right? I don't want to go to another portal to find hacks. Why
Right.
I need extra portal?
Okay, so there's a lot in there, but I think the major question is, I'm already loving Google.com, and I use that as my one-stop shop. Why would I go to a Chrome Web Store and get apps there?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just the same reason why you might go to any other curated site to find more narrow content, because certainly all of these if I search for Wortico here on Google, it will come right up. But however, that's when I know what I'm looking for. And the Chrome Web Store is really good for when I just need a great chess game, or I need a great tile-based word forming game, or
Why Google cannot find for me? If I just search it, it should just
it can, but it's just a different experience. It's the same reason why people might go to CNN and browse news. But of course, I can use Google News or just search for like new things that are happening on Google. It's just a different experience where this one's optimized for finding great web apps that maybe are related to the ones I purchased before, read the comments, or it's just a little bit more narrow, optimized experience. They'll all show up in search results as well. So.
Okay,